says, you have been eating soup in this house since they gave birth to you. So there's no money for you. Now I don't get to get the money from her again. The money has, if you hear Otilo, the money has gone. So when next a visitor comes to my house and they give me money, will I give my mother that money again? Well, the right thing to be is that I'm supposed to give my mother the money. But now because I'm scared of betrayal, I'm scared that she's going to eventually betray me again because this woman, she is at work. That's her. That's her work. That's the way she creates. We have that type of friend. If I give her this money, it's going to go again. So I won't give her the money. Then they threaten you with another type of threat. That if you don't bring that money, you are in trouble. So now you are helpless. You can't literally do anything. So the fear of betrayal starts. Or don't worry, come inside, I'll not beat you. And you get inside and they give you the beating of your life. So these are places where this thing stems from. And growing up, when you share with somebody once, they say once beaten, twice shy. Then the fear of betrayal also creeps in. So we are going to look at how to tackle all these things later. The next type of fear is the fear of condemnation and comparison. This is very common in the Nigerian households growing up. I bet, I don't know how many of us grew up here, but we have similar upbringings. The fear of condemnation and comparison, till date, some people still have it. And sometimes I'll intentionally just poke my mom that, you know, that boy that used to compare me with Taye, he's already doing Yahoo and he's smoking. Don't you like me to be like him again? And she'll say, no, you are good like this. You don't look at other people. Like, don't compare yourself to others. So you know this, but you used to compare me then. Maybe that guy, Oboshe neat, Oboshe dress. Well, what play ball, that be not rubbish. And I'll be thinking that, but this guy are saying he comes to play ball with me now. So the fear that people are going to criticize you, people are going to reject you, people are going to look down on you, is something that many people have experienced in their household, and it has grown with them over time, and it's now part and parcel of their personality. So people are going to criticize you, obviously, anywhere you go in life. Whether you like it or not, you face criticism. Now, there's constructive criticism. That one is always good for you. And there's the criticism that comes from hate or beef. You should be able to discern when somebody is criticizing you constructively, when they are giving you feedback. Oh, this thing you have done here better, you can do this better. I believe in you. That's constructive criticism. He wants you to do better. But when they look at your work and like, sorry, excuse me, are you the one that did this? We are not supposed to pay you for this. That is letting you down. So when you believe in yourself, when you have a strong sense of will that, oh, I have this skill, then fear shouldn't even come into the case. But because of they call something imposter syndrome, am I good at all? Every time we keep asking ourselves, there's a good side to imposter syndrome. Anytime you feel like, oh, I don't think I'm good enough, the next thing is not to weigh yourself down. The next thing for you to do is, how can I be better? Pursuing how to become better, how to become better, how to become better. But the moment you accept the criticism that they are projected on you and you look down on yourself, for everything you want to do continuously from that point, you start to doubt yourself. For example, fear of comparison or condemnation is you are studying one of those courses where you can work anywhere. I did that. I schooled in FUNAB, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. And thank God today, I studied one of those courses where I can work anywhere. And that's soil science and land management. And today I'm working in fintech, I'm working in tech, which means I'm working anywhere of my choice or anywhere I like. But then if you had not studied medicine or engineering, or law, or something that is that people know that, oh, this course you are going to make it from it 100%. We have quite some people who have studied medicine, and that is not what they are actually, they don't practice, not because they are not good, but because they have decided to chase passion. The passion that they could have easily chased and channeled all their energy into when they were young. But because of, some family, father doctor, mother doctor, son doctor, nephew doctor, cousin doctor, some families is teacher, 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 teacher. Some is lawyer, 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 like Fowles the bad guy. So they believe that you follow that same family legacy. So immediately you want to kick against or change that narrative, then they start comparing you, they start condemning you, so that they can put that fear in your mind to live the reality. You remember when I started that the fear is a false evidence that appears real, that makes you live a reality that is not yours. So you now start living, learning law, trying to form, yes, I'm passionate about law. Meanwhile, that is not really what you want to do. Also, we're in the social media era today. You see a 19-year-old boy buy Benz, you are starting to think about your life that, oh, you are 30, you have not even saved your first million. You have not even bought your first house. You have not even done this. You are comparing yourselves. And I tell people, when you want to compare yourself, if you want to compare yourself in the realistic sense of things, compare yourself to those who are higher, compare yourself to those who are lower, and see, oh, thank God for where I'm coming from, and thank God for where I will be going to. Because if you condemn yourself to only those who are higher, you don't know their source, you don't know what they do, you don't know the grace, you guys don't even have the same starting point. And like I said, even if you were born in the same family, your daddy, your mommy, and there's the firstborn, there's the secondborn, there's the thirdborn. The first, second, and third do not usually have the same experience growing up. They do not have the same childhood. When the firstborn was 8, the secondborn was maybe around 6, the thirdborn was 4, and they are growing up together. At some point, maybe when they give birth to the firstborn, there was no money. They were living in rented apartments where you have to go and fetch water from downstairs and carry it upstairs. There was maybe cases of where going to school, even the type of school they were going to, was not again like that. Then when they gave back to the secondborn, money had come. They were staying in their own house. They were going to the best schools. Now, the firstborn has an experience the second one does not have. The firstborn has the experience of pulling through suffering, built doggedness, and some other traits. The secondborn is completely buttered because they were living a fancy life. And maybe when they gave birth to the thirdborn, God forbid, they had lost one parent, and the thirdborn was raised simply by a single parent. Now, the thirdborn can't relate with being raised by two parents. So you can even do comparison in some parents do it that can't you see your other brother? Can't you see your younger ones? Can't you see this? Which is bad. But the way the dynamics of life, the way the life is it designed, is that you do not have the same experience even with your siblings. So you do not create that mindset that you should have the same starting point in life with the people your father knows then, and the people your father knows now might be different. And maybe when you were trying to enter the school and dream of your choice, your father didn't know anybody. And when the third one wanted to enter, it now looks like, oh, they love the third one more than they love me. So you now have that, oh, I can't talk to my parents, they will condemn me, they will compare me, they won't. So these are things that you shouldn't do. Parents always ask the question, I always advise them, when will you get serious? When are you getting married? Especially those uncles and aunts. When are you getting married? When are you going to do this? Or John Law, your mates this, your mates that, and you hear this all the time. All of this builds into your subconscious and you start thinking, how can I do this? Am I even good at all for someone to get married to? Am I even good at all for someone to offer me a job? From whom they have condemned and killed you. They have compared you. And you're not taking that mindset. If there are any Obafen, you're not taking that mindset outside and thinking the rest of the world is like that. So the fear of condemnation and comparison is also a type of fear. So how do we have been talking about fear, 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 fear. How do we now manage this fear? How do we leave the farm of fear and go into a world where we are fearless? We can face anything, we can tackle anything. So I'll call it, you name it so that you can tame it. The only thing you can fight is the things that you can see and you are aware of that this is what is going on. When you are sure and certain that this is what is going on, sorry, there are some mistakes in my slide. Like I said, it's just a quick sketch. When you are certain and sure that this is what I am facing. Imagine David and Goliath, and David was not seeing Goliath, and he was just slinging the shots. It's fruitless. So the first thing you need to do is recognize honestly, truthfully, be true to yourself. What are my fears? Am I scared of being judged? Do I fear that I'll be misunderstood? Do I fear that I'll be condemned or compared? Do I fear that I'll be betrayed? Do I fear this? Do I fear that? You need to look at it from a honest point of view. And nobody is going to help you to do this realization. You are going to do this realization for yourself. So I wouldn't know if we can quickly do some sort of, how do I put it now? Say if we can write something that we are scared about, if we can write something that we have always been scared to do. Maybe it's an exam that is coming up. Maybe it's something that a business we want to start. Anything that we are scared of, primarily, anything. You should write it down. And then they said, I used to hear this, and I've tried it. It worked. When you're scared about something, when you have fear or when you have doubts in mind of maybe anything, when you write your problems down, you've solved pretty much a huge volume of that. So anything that you're scared of, write it down. So I'm not going to do abracadabra to make it disappear. You are the one that will still handle it yourself. But name your fear. Are you scared of being judged? Are you scared of being misunderstood? Are you scared of being betrayed, condemned? Are you scared of failing? That, oh, this one's I'm not good enough. It's also the fear of being judged, that if I fail, what will people say? Or fear of condemnation, that, oh, I failed this again. You are going to tell me, customer than you always you always fail. There was a time my father told me, I didn't take it as a fear, but there was a time he told me that then I used to play football a lot. So I came back from my football escapades one day, and I came back and he said, you are writing WAEC in 3 days. You are going to play football. No problem. God will give me the power and finances to keep financing you for every exam you fail. This man is not even thinking that, okay, maybe I'll even pass. He said God will keep giving him money to pay for any exam that I want to take, in as much as I keep failing. And I've not even done one that I failed before, which we could say, okay, maybe it's anchoring on that to say maybe I'll fail this one. And I was just looking at myself like, in fact, I think for the rest of the year, that year, I didn't play ball at all. Because he instilled that fear that, don't worry, you fail this one, I will pay for another one. Anyways, I failed small. I didn't really feel big. I failed economics also, like 2 subjects. Like I failed those 2 subjects. But I had my 5 credits, so technically I could say I passed. But in my dad's eyes, he say if you were not playing ball, you'd have passed the other subjects. Anyways, I'm his favorite son now, even if I'm the only son. So be aware of your fears, and you need to what's it called now? Name them, name it so you can tame it. You can't fight an enemy you don't know. And once you recognize that fear, you you can stop reacting blindly to it. Some of you, you know that say you did fear, but you don't want to admit that you are scared. It is fine to admit that you are scared of something or you fear something. It is fine to admit. It is what you're now doing that matters, not whatever it is that is happening. Trust me, fear will be part of us for the rest of our lives. Anything, any big thing or any next big deal things, anxiety and all these things will come. It is part of you every time. But do you have a strategy to always conquer it? Yes. Once you have a strategy that you use, and everybody is unique to self. What will work for me will work for another person, will work for another person. So you need to be able to define your own strategy that you'll be using to see that. That is what distinguish one person from another. So you would need to create a plan. While I'm not a fan of there's one thing therapists used to recommend, that you write, you are beautiful, you are a strong woman, you are a strong man, you are this, you are that. Then you put it on your mirror and recite it every morning. And I've seen people that it worked for. Me, maybe because I don't have sense too much like that. If I do that, maybe I put on my mirror, you are handsome, you are beautiful. The first thing I'll do is I'll just laugh because what's this? I can't do this and all that. I have pride in myself already. If you like, tell me I'm handsome or I'm not handsome. The people where they fall for the fall for the people who no go fall for us, no go fall for us. I can't please everybody. So I don't have fear in that. So maybe the people who are scared or doubting that am I beautiful? Am I? Yes, that could work for you. So you need to create a small thing. You don't need to, if you want to conquer things, you take it. Only people level, which means that you start eating moi from the flat end. I don't think I follow that rule all the time, but we'll follow that rule for this time. So we can cut moi small from time to time till you finish the entire thing. So you recognize your fear, you write it down, you name it, and I encourage everyone here to pick up their pen if you have a pen, or just somewhere in your notepad, write that thing that has always been a fear, write that thing that you have always been scared of, write that thing that you've always thought about. How do I do this? Am I worth it more? So when you're writing this down, nobody wins alone. Nobody, I say. You can do some things yourself. You can accomplish some things, but nobody wins alone. So because I said you should write it down does not mean when you now write it down, you now start thinking about it. You start to think about how you can tackle it slowly. You want to ask question in class or in a seminar, and you're scared to, hello, I have a question, I want to speak. Write your question in a piece of paper. Take the courage and stand up and walk to the front and say you want to give it to the speaker. Don't give it to the usher, or don't give it to, or tell them you want to give it to the pastor. That is a way you might overcome. This is just a strategy. I'm just telling you different style or scope of things that you can do. Write it somewhere, send it to the front. The following one, don't do it like that. Try another means up until you are convenient with the environment or the space and you can actually speak. Another thing, I know a lot of people have this fear of speaking. I actually have this fear of speaking. Normally, years back, I won't switch on my camera like this. Cannot see my face. Even in my workplace, I still do it. You don't see my face. I won't stand on any place to speak. I declined so many radios and TV interviews until I started doing that later this year. And this is me speaking again to you guys. I always know that, okay, I can speak. I don't have that fear of being judged. I don't have that fear of being misunderstood or betrayed, but I have that fear of comparison. That what if I am not as good as the people I've seen do it? But later I realized that these people are only human, and I'll speak. So my own logic of how I cracked it was whenever I want to speak, the first thing I always try to do is to make people laugh or do something that I know that I'll be remembered for. Hence, one of the reasons that bettered my intro of legally, my name is Mubarak Babajide, but illegally, then I keep quiet. And everybody starts to think. Is it that they are starting to think, what is my legal name or something? Now I have gotten the attention of the audience and I've made it a safe space for me, myself, who is scared. Or is it that I just make a comment or just laugh and then everybody has to settle. Then I start speaking what I want to say one after the other. Sometimes I'll tell you, I'm actually scared to do this. I fear large crowd. So you people should make your eyes easy on me. It takes a lot, but I won't say that looking up. So by the time I look up, you see people smiling or people's teeth, then you feel like, yes, I'm in the right place. So once you're able to do that, the first thing to overcome your fear is actually by doing it. And now I am not saying that you should do it without being afraid. I watched I don't know what to call it, but it was a piece on social media of some students graduating, and the first statement he said was, "Do it afraid." Yes, that is how you overcome fears. You want to drive. The time you hold the steering and you're changing the gear, or you're holding the brakes, changing the gear, you're still afraid at that time. By the time you do it continuously, your mind will be in that fear. Not that that fear is no longer there. In fact, that fear will come back when somebody, maybe, a typical bike man, when they whine you on the streets and you're driving and they almost brush you and you have to, that fear that you thought you had overcome will come back briefly to say, "What's up? I'm still here." And it goes back. So you do not overcome fear by just thinking about it. If you want to swim, you want to learn how to swim, or you don't want to drown. Now, because I said you should start and do it afraid, does not mean you just jump into the water. Be reasonable and strategic about it. You want to learn how to swim. You want to swim, you learn how to swim. You want to drive, you don't just jump and say, Damola has said you should not be fear. Damola has said you should not fear. So I want to drive this. If you go and carry your mother's car, the car that she's treating like an egg, and you go and bash it, there's another fear that will come there, but we'll not talk about it in this platform. So when you want to overcome fear, you need to learn what you need to do to overcome that fear. Then you now start applying it small, small. You try today. Always make sure you try. Do one thing that makes you feel, yes, I'm going to I'm going to try this week. So this week, that thing that you're written down from awareness that you're scared of, this week, do that one particular thing that you're scared of. If it's that you want to start posting on LinkedIn for visibility, or you want to start posting your work on social media, or you want to start talking about your craft, or you want to, some people are very scared of camera. Hold your phone, record a 30 seconds video, you smiling. Don't edit it, don't do anything, just post it. Leave it. If I can log out, don't care about it. Come back later to see how it is doing. Don't, I'll talk about something, not now, but tick off your small wins and in your notebook, okay, this fear that I've been scared about, I've done one thing about it today. This is that thing. People that always keep notes of what they do, people that keep mental notes or physical notes, that journal. Every time it's not that you just doom scroll on social media till you fall asleep. You can pick your phone on your notepad or journal, just write anything that comes to mind, write it down. Those things boost confidence, small, small. They boost your confidence. Write it down, look at it, think about it. What can I do? Write it down. Always believe in yourself. Be confident about yourself. Even if it feels very small. Like I said, you want to learn how to you want to speak to a large crowd of people, or you want to ask a question in a large crowd of people, and you write it down. Rather than keeping quiet, swallowing the question and taking it home, write it down and send it. Or, oh, I have a question, but you write it down and give it to maybe the usher or organizer or the Ask Me people that they should help you pass it to the front. And they'll read your question. Even when they are reading your question, they don't know who it is from. They read your question and they answer your question, and you feel comfortable with yourself that yes, I've been able to ask my question without leaving here empty handed. So build a support system. But before we go to building a support system, there's one trick that I want you guys to, or there's one philosophy I want you guys to harness or like imbibe that kind of culture. So, like I said, everybody has their own fears, and we need to know there's success, there's failure. The amount of time you will hit success on something, the amount of time you will hit success on something, and the amount of time you fail at something are not always equal. You might have a successful run continuously for the next 6 months and fail twice, or fail 20 times and be successful 3 times. Now, one thing I've noticed is that when people fail, the entire motivation, even if they have been successful about 30 things and they fail in just one, that one thing they failed at becomes something that makes them lose it all. So my philosophy is that that's how it works for me. So you can test it. There's always room to test. Test it if it works for you. Success, failure. Put two of them on the same pedestal. When you get successful at something, when you're planning something, for example, it's an exam or an application for something, or what could it be? I'm trying to see if we can use, let's just use an exam or an application for a job. And you want to think about it in the, yes, you're scared. Will I get this job? But please let me get this job. Yes, that one is there. Keep it aside. When you get the job, have a plan of what you want to do next. Immediately you get the job. For me, most times, the first thing I used to tell God, if you give me this thing, I'll pray about it and do this. If you do not give me this thing now, so I'll pray about it and do this. So there's a plan. If I apply for a job and they send me, they don't even send, unfortunately, again, is thank you very much for applying. We won't be moving forward with you this time and blah blah blah. They will not tell you, unfortunately. They have abused that word. So you apply for the job. Then, if I get the job, I pray and thank God for it. Then proceed to the plan I said I want to do next. So now I've gotten the job. The next thing is to draft out all I need to do and how I'm going to raise money for this, maybe new clothes, new shoes, blah, 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 this and that. There's a plan. So immediately I get a successful message. I don't dwell on it too much. I'm happy. I share the news with my friends. I pray, do that thing I said I would do, and move on to the next thing. The same thing comes when I fail at something. When I fail at something, immediately the failure comes, it hits me. Ouch, I didn't get this. Immediately, I go to pray or share the news with my friend that this thing will work. I go to pray, then move on to the next thing. That plan B, apply for 50 more jobs. Once you do that, anytime you are trying to do something, you would see that your anxiety reduces. People always think that I don't have emotions. When people don't have emotions and when people can control emotions, they are two different things. Once I get something that is, I can smile from year to year, like, yay, and I move on to the next thing immediately. That one is count. We already count that one. We are thankful for that. We're on to the next thing. But immediately you start treating success like, oh, it's the end of the world. Ah, for example, me, I have a personal thing I do every Sunday. No matter how broke I am, no matter how crazy it is, I'll buy small chops in the morning. I will enjoy my Sunday. I'll cook jollof rice towards the evening time. I'll play music. I'll dance, watch movie. This one I do it all by myself. Nobody, no friends, nothing, nothing. This is me just celebrating. I enjoyed my week. All I had. I'm thankful for life. We are going into a new week. Have a productive week ahead. Whether the week has been crazy. Okay, so because one week was crazy and it didn't do well for me, then I'll not eat my jollof Sunday. Oh, you're joking. I'll eat my jollof Sunday, even if it's to call my mother to borrow money to buy me that. I'll do it. I'll enjoy my life. So you need to understand that if you can treat failure and success the same way, you'll be able to conquer the fear and anxiety of actually, wanting to do something, wanting to take. So when you are scared that somebody is going to judge you, put it in mind. If I say this thing and they don't judge me, this is the next thing I'm doing. If I say this thing and they judge me, this is the next thing I'm doing. If I say this thing and they condemn me, this is what I do. If I say it and they don't condemn me, this is what I do. So now you want to be a musician, an artist, and you send your song to somebody and they're like, she na leg you take cook this thing, she na your hand you take sing, I mean your mouth. Then you're like, okay, this person has condemned my work. This is the next thing I want to do. This is the next thing. So always have a next thing. Because if you don't have a next thing, then you don't fall back. So when you are successful about something and you don't have a next thing you want to do, you might end up, you're about to say, you might end up celebrating and over celebrating. So you got on one big win, you're now driving at 200 kilometer per hour on the express because you are so excited. That might be the end of you. Or you feel that something, then you now start drowning yourself in alcohol. I recommend no alcohol, please. So you now start drinking alcohol and you become a deadbeat person. So this is why you also need to build a support system. Like I said, when I win something, I share with my friends, mostly my support system, those who supported me through the application of the job, or those who referred me or something, people who helped me through something. I share with them and they always encourage me. People who have your best interest at heart. How do you discern how people have your best interest at heart? Is when you tell them something and you believe that it works for you. When you tell them anything, you believe that it works for you. Okay, so they would always encourage you. Those friends, I have some friends and they are very lazy. When I share an idea with them, they tell you that Omo, you can do it. They are not going to help you to execute or do anything. Their work is just to sometimes I work with negative motivation. So you know go run out. You go hungry, I swear. And I'll be like, okay, no worry, I will start. They will push you when you now start that you cannot come out again. They now start laughing at you. But because you are friends, we understand each other and all that. So find friends who will push you, find mentors who will guide you, find people who remind you that you are capable, you can do this, you can handle it. And I bet you if you surround yourself with the right network, it means more doors to greater things, more doors to better opportunities, collaboration. If your parents are actually supportive, I know many of us have supportive parents. We know what they do for us. Ọmọ mi lele, ẹ bá mi ṣe báyìí. Ọmọ mi lele, ẹ bá mi ṣe báyìí. So if you build the right support system, your fear can be managed and subdued to the minimum level. So the key takeaway I want to hold today is that fear is a liar. It just acts as a blindfold, a shield on your face, and you start to live the reality that is not yours. If you want to live the reality, the destiny that God defined for you, that is designed for you to enjoy your life, don't believe the lies that the blindfold, the illusions that cover your face. Always try as much as possible to clear them. And how do you clear them? Action. starting small, writing your problems down, and growing through them. Your growth is for you and you alone. It is not a competition. Thank you very much. My name is Mubarak Babajide alias Damola, and I'm very happy to have. I'm privileged to be here. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Damola. Thank you very much. See
Uh,
everybody, the applause still flying in the air. Um, so okay, someone's hand is already up. Is there a question? Wait, you can let's order our questions. Let's write it down. Yeah, I have questions,
okay.
shall any question, Timmy? So I was jotting down see my notes. I did write things down. So first things first, I learned quite a lot. The applause is I learned quite a lot from you. So
Yeah.
first thing I learned is fear is with us for all of our lives, which I believe is true. I mean, fear keeps us
Yeah.
alive. That's just one thing I used to motivate myself. Fear keeps us alive. If there's no fear, everybody just be laid back and too lackadaisical about stuff. They just
Just
do
do
things
anyhow.
anyhow. And you get the vibe. So fear is with us all our lives. Now, the main thing is what is your strategy to overcome the fear or to conquer it? Now, yeah, I know
Yeah.
everybody has specific strategies when it comes to like overcoming fear, but there are sometimes that even those strategies, they will not come. Like you will not, it will not work. I don't know if I'm just
Yes,
kokoniki.
yes.
You know, it will not just.
It's
So
not just
how do
appear.
we go
It's not
about
appear
that?
as a big- So
Yeah.
when you're scared about something and you've tried A, you've tried B, you've tried C. Some people will tell you that if this thing does not work, I'm going straight to plan Z. I think it comes from a place of um there's always that point where you get to. I think everybody hits rock bottom at least once in a lifetime. You hit that rock where you believe that, oh, I don't think I can come back from this. When you try strategy A, strategy B, strategy C, and that particular thing is not working, what I always advise people to do is go back to that particular thing you're trying to do. Is it something that is relevant that if you do not do it, you can't progress to the next phase? Or if you do not conquer it, you can't progress to the next phase? What are the factors that are tied to those things? Sometimes you might need to take a very big, huge decision. It might be you trying to progress in a company and you've tried strategy A, you've tried to speak to the CEO and I'm due for a promotion and all that. And they are not giving you that promotion. You have tried to be the employee of the in fact, you have created employee of the month throughout the entire year, back to back, and they are not still promoting you. The strategy or anything, or whatever thing that it is, so far, even if it's that was putting food on your table, you should now have to start looking at plans to actually leave that entire space completely. It might be God trying to tell you that that door you are knocking, I closed it for a reason. Go away from that place and face something else. And most times, once I zero that, okay, I've tried all possible things and I cannot do it, then it's beyond my control. One thing I would never do is worry about things that I can't control. I cannot control, what's it called? In as much as I can control it, is in my hands. It means that I can handle it. And God has promised us not to give us more than what we can handle. So, in as much as it's in my control, I can handle it. But if it is not in my control, I do not worry about it. I leave it alone and move on to the next thing. That way, I know I can calculate my growth in actual, like measure my growth in actual terms, not on futuristic terms of things that are beyond my control. So I
All
hope I've
right.
been able to answer.
Yes, you have answered my question. Basically, a redirection. Okay. So, teenagers,
Yeah.
if you have questions, please just unmute your mic and state out your question, your name, your class, and your question. And if you are shy, put it in the income messages.
And type it. That's the
Yeah,
first
you can
step
type
of.
it. All right. So,
But I'd like you to speak.
all right. So, teenagers, please send in your questions. And if you don't have questions now, much later, you can send it to Favor, and she will just direct it straight to Damola, and Damola would answer your questions. So, questions. Anybody's got questions? Let's see. Anybody?
Anybody? I know some were raising their hands the other time.
Yeah,
Or
I
maybe
saw
the
some too.
okay.
Any question? No question. Okay, while we are waiting on questions, let's just do a quick quiz. I just want to ask. This is not a question always for the teenagers. And we adults, I don't mind if we answer to them. So I just want to ask a quick question. So imagine, okay, we're all in school. We're all in school, all of us are friends, we're all cool, and there's a celebrity amongst us. So we have a teenager celebrity, like this, your classmate is a celebrity, is an actress or an actor or an influencer.
Yeah.
And okay, you've seen it, you admire it, you don't covet it. I mean, you're not jealous. Let's take that in point. But you love this person and oh, I want to do it. But my parents are like, they want me to become a doctor. And so I must become that doctor. If I don't become a doctor, they will beat me. They will not pay my school fees again. They will not feed me. They'll chase me out of the house and all of that threats that our parents used to give us back then, which I believe they will not act on it. They cannot act on it. Now, you now have parents like, you must be a doctor and this and that. And you too, you are struggling that, me too, let me shall read science, let me shall do biology. And you want to become an actress. Now, what do you do in that case? What do you do in that instance? Meanwhile, your actress friend can link you up with another actress that can put you in the limelight if you want to. You can start acting because you actually have the passion, you have the zeal, and you can do it. Like you're already in your drama group in your school and you can do it. So what do you do? Are you scared to go and meet that friend that, okay, link me up? Or you still keep throwing that line of, oh, my parents say I want to become a doctor, I must become a doctor. What do you do in this case?
Okay, so like I was mentioning in the beginning, that some family already believe that this is the best path for you. So it took me, I wish I knew the weak points or the weaknesses of my parents so that I would have exploited it a long time ago. So my dad is someone who, if you don't have a very strong, convincing reasons, you might not be allowed to do that thing. So what you do is, I'll go and look for statistics. All right. So at the time I wanted to join tech, it was like, what happens to your degree and all that. So I went to look for all studies. My dad is someone who likes to read. All studies, successful children, and how they started, that is feasible and possible. If they give me their support, I'll write everything out. And I'll tell him, I want to talk to you. I have this. Mongbo, that's what you say. Then you sit down and start listening to you. So you need to be able to convince them beyond reasonable doubt that this thing is good for me and it's what I love. And people are successful from it. And there's one question he always threw. At the time I wanted to play football, he said, what's your plan B if you break your leg? That he's not wishing I break my leg, but I want to go and play ball now at age 15. And Olomaja Ikoshidada, share. What would then happen? Am I the one that will be feeding you for the rest of your lives because you ditched education for sports? Then I didn't know that I could tell him that I can move the two together. I can continue in the line of education, but can he support me through my football career as well? That's in my education, some schools will tell you if you do not have certain number of grade, you cannot join the football team or you cannot play. So you need to be able to give them, oh, I have this opportunity. I know someone who is willing to help me in this line. I know this, I know this. My plan B is this education you want me to do. I will do it alongside both. If one does not work, I always have one to fall back to. So if you can convince them about the clear path, most times parents don't see, they're always subjective to what they see, what their friends have told them. So once you are able to clarify that, then you start opening their eyes to. If your parents are being adamant and no, is what I say must do. Look for somebody. All parents have someone that can speak to them. Convince those ones. If I convince my grandma, you don't call me, my papa do prayer for like the next 5 minutes. Everywhere goes to. But I didn't know all these things going on. So anytime they shun the stuff at me, no, you can't do that. I just lock up and go and continue reading that book that currently you are not using. And that's to live our lives. So you need to understand that most times, when it comes to music too, anybody who wants to be a musician, most times it's those unconventional things. When you tell your parents, oh, I want to be a fashion designer and stuff, they are like fashion designer, kilofe magic and all. You need to make them understand that you're not only, it's not only a must. If my child comes to you and say, I want to be a musician, no problem. I have a clause. You must learn how to play instruments. You must learn how to do virtually everything surrounding music. So I'll buy the musical instrument for you. I'll get you a trainer. You must be able to produce your own music yourself. Such that if you try music, you sing, and it does not blow, you can produce for other people that will blow. You can disc jockey. You can set up stage. You can do event management. You can do artist management. You can do quite a lot of things, even in that music space. That's such that it might not be that music that's even flexing. You might just want to be in the music industry. Maybe it's not that music that is even really your passion or your talent, but because you're seeing the, showbiz, you think that's what you want to do. If you want to play football too, learn coaching, learn other fitness management and other things around the football world, analysis and all, so that by the time you can't play football or you can't fit into a football, you didn't get picked. There are other things you'll be equally good at that you can transfer your skills to and still be happy. So you don't end up being, oh, I tried all I could, it didn't work. So I'm happy parents now take their children to drum classes, these classes. I was surprised. It's only summer coaching because our holiday, we still use it to go and read books. Summer coaching, you still go and read book again. You still do after school lesson. It's only a book the others used to kill us. And I'm glad parents their eyes are open now and they are getting to see the light. So that's it. Just always find a way to convince people. Convince them to the point that they can see reasons with you. And if they are still feeling strong or this thing, always go. And last but not the least, if everything is not now working, I still believe people should follow their dreams. There will always be a way you can follow your dreams, even if your parents are not in support of it entirely. You still do it. And when they now see that, oh, you're making sense out of it. Some people just want to see results. Once you can show them a result that this thing is working, they buy into it. We have seen parents that their children did Yahoo and they were at first, Yahoo, but now they are indulging it. I'm not saying anybody should do Yahoo here. I'm just telling you how terrible or how parents are. Once you can show results to anybody, they can buy into what you're doing. So aim at showing results first, not just show workings, so that you have gone some extent. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Do we still have questions? Are there questions in the equal messages? No. So I guess we are going to just have to let Mr. Damola go right this minute because he spent over an hour with us and we've learned a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So before we go, I just want to announce that the Trustings Conference 20 is coming up on the 3rd of October. We are excited. We've started the preparations, we started planning the guest speakers, the guest lineup. You guys don't want to imagine the people on the list. See, last year we saw Eniolua. This year it's another level, next level. And so registration is on. Registration is free. If you're still in school, please write your names and the name of your school, send it to Favor. So we'll be able to ascertain that your school will bring you on that day, considering it's a Friday. And please call your friends that are teenagers, your neighbors, your community members, people in your churches, in your mosques. If you're a traditional worshiper too, which I don't expect I'll see anybody here, but call them. All of you. Come and have fun. Come and enjoy yourselves. It's free. Last year, you guys have not seen anything. This year, next level. So, see you at the Trustings Conference 2025. More webinars to be hosted, more IG lives to be hosted. Thank you guys for coming in, for tuning in. The replay will be on our YouTube channel. So, if you missed at any point, I see some people joining, leaving. You can go to our YouTube channel and watch the full video right on there. All right. Thank you, everyone. And like Debs will say, last to leave is a goat. Let me say last person that will leave this call.
Bye,
Minus me,
guys.
Sha. Bye. Minus me, Sha. Why am I still seeing people here? You're supposed to leave, oh. Last to leave is a goat. Let's go. This is the last person. I want to catch the last person. That's why I'm still here. I want to catch the last person. Some of us are still here. Since I don't want to be a goat, I'd rather leave. Bye.